let's walk through this spreadsheet a little bit, and we're going to pull this up on the screen so you can see it and kind of walk through it with us. If you're listening, you're going to have to go to YouTube. You're going to have to hit subscribe, and then you're going to have to watch this so you can see it. So shameless plug. Yeah, come on now. If you're listening, go over that YouTube, make that thing happen. Anyway, all right, let's break this worksheet down. I'm just going to run through the columns, and then we'll kind of maybe break each of them down to make sure that we dissect them a little bit more. But column A is going to be just the date captured. Column B is going to be the story or the idea, kind of that raw note, if you will. Column C is the story type. Column D is going to be where it came from. Column E is the possible episode angle, like how you're gonna put that together in content. Column F is the content bucket that it would fall under. And then column G is it used? Yes or no? And then column H is kind of a optional one. You could throw the episode link when it's done so that you could revisit that and see how you put it together so that you might be able to use it again in the future if necessary. So let's go back to column A. I mean, it's going to be very self-explanatory, but let's break it down a little bit, Dustin. Column A, obviously date captured. When did this happen? Why did it happen? This really kind of helps you see patterns over time and dates and like, oh man, I really start to get really good ideas in the springtime because the flowers are coming out and the sun is out. No, I don't know. You'll find your own flow in it. But that's why we put the date captured, obviously, to be able to revisit. And then column B is the story or the idea. This is that raw note moment that I was telling you. 1 to 3 sentences. It's kind of messy. Don't really edit it. Just kind of get your idea down, right? To reference the story at the beginning, my daughter at Chick-fil-A licking my cheek when I asked her for some ice cream or something, like super simple, super raw. Again, very self-explanatory, but let's walk through this anyway. Let's look at column C now, the story type. Okay, this is going to be where you start to figure out where these kind of work and where they go. This could be where you put in a client story. This could be a personal story. This could be a teaching moment. This could be an industry insight, maybe a micro moment, something like that, where as you're looking at your spreadsheet in kind of a quick way, you're able to go, okay, that's a story about, some type of client moment that I had, right? So I'm going to pull that because I really want to tell a client story here. So you can see that kind of as a 30,000 foot view and then be able to start digging in from there. So obviously the story of my daughter's story would be like a personal story moment that we could pull from. So that's really column C, right? Column D, where it came from. Did it come from a client call? Did it come from a coaching session? Did it come from a DM conversation that you were having with somebody on Instagram? Maybe you were walking or working out. That's always when the ideas. I don't know about you, Dustin, but a lot of ideas come in the shower for some reason.
Yeah.
Don't know
absolutely.
why, but it happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you 100%. A shower idea guy?
Shower, driving, anytime where I'm having to focus on something that's outside of my work is usually when your brain, psychologically, they say it allows your brain to kind of bring up some of those subconscious thoughts and ideas, because you're not focused on, you're focused on, it's a mundane thing that you're doing, showering, driving, thing like that.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. We send a lot of drive time thoughts to each other, Dustin. We use the Notes app, we go, hey dude, drive time thought, just thinking about this, where, that's where all the ideas flow. And that's an easy way
one day
to
we're gonna start that podcast too.
Oh yeah, that's true. Let us know if you want to hear the Drive Time Thoughts podcast, maybe it'll be a segment here on the I don't know. Anyway,
maybe. We'll see.
Anyway, All right, let's go to column E, the possible episode angle, right? So this is where you're starting to kind of refine the idea a little bit. Let's dig into, oh man, that story where the story where Story licked my cheek instead of, giving me the ice cream. Maybe we could pull that into an episode angle of making sure that the words that you use in your podcast are the right ones so that people aren't confused. Right. So now you can begin to draw lines and connecting dots between story and possible teaching moments. Right. So make sure that possible episode angle is written in there, and just jot down some ideas, some notes, just some bullet points, if you will, on that. And then column F, the content buckets. We believe around here, every client that we work with from a podcast production side of things, we walk through and make sure that they have at least 5 buckets or 5 idea buckets that they could pull from, so that you're not always just going here, there, and everywhere, right? So for us, for an example, it could be something like podcast strategy, right? We talk a lot about podcast strategy around here. So if there's something that pops up in that, let's put it in that bucket, right? Maybe a production would be one. If you're doing video production, if you will, in some way, shape, or form, we're going to teach you something about video production. That we will drop that in that bucket. What are those buckets for you? Everybody should have at least 5 buckets of content types. You could have 3, you could have 4. 5 is not necessarily, but that's usually what we shoot for, anywhere from 3 to 5. Dustin, do you have any type of content bucket strategy that you use with the podcast that you produce?
Yeah, 100%. So mine is like, are we talking about a framework? Are we talking about creativity just in general? Is it something that drives creative and creativity? Are we talking about processes? Are we talking about a system? Are we talking about leadership? Those are kind of my 5 to 6 buckets that as I'm planning mine out in my spreadsheet, I'm making sure. What I really love about that, Darren, is it gives back on that, other tab of the release date and details. It really even here on your Story Vault as well, to be able to kind of see, is there a content bucket that I have not enough of, or maybe it's too heavy in one area, right? So that you can make sure, like, hey, I thought you were supposed to be talking about lots of different things, but it seems like you're really only talking about this on this podcast. Then if you start to see that trend on your Story Vault, your antenna can go up for the ones that you don't have as much of.
There it is. Yeah. And too, Dustin, if you play that out, you can begin to watch your data over time on your episodes to go, man, whenever I talk about leadership, it tends to pop off. And people are really, really digging those conversations. So it's going to help you refine, right? And then you might go, well, let's take this leadership bucket and break that into a couple of different buckets and pull those in and maybe drop a couple off that don't make sense. Now it's helping you move your podcast, your content forward with real data in real time. So that's the importance of kind of having that bucket system in place. If you don't have it, I believe we've done a podcast episode on it. If we haven't, we will do one soon. But that's the importance of having those content buckets put in place. And that's something we walk all of our clients through. Column G, very self-explanatory. Is it used? Yes or no? But that way you're not just always going back to the same stories, right? Oh, yeah, I did use that one. Because again, we're going to forget, right? We're going to go grab that story again and go, oh, I just did that 2 episodes ago. And I didn't realize that. Oops. So make sure that you put just a simple yes or no on that. And then column H, very self-explanatory again, is like, once the episode's out, maybe drop that in. The reason that I put that there, and again, it's an optional column, but what I would like to do is if I go back to a story, I want to go, okay, it has been used and here's the episode. How did I use it? What was the angle that I took on it? What was the way that I put it together? Then I can go, okay, could I repurpose it in another way, shape, or form?